Well, this has been a long time coming, hasn't it? This has been this has been been requested for months into a year. I got my friends asking me, hell, my parents asking me about Social Maker and like, hey, how do you do this? Hell, I even got comments my videos of the past year and a half saying, man, I wish I could do this. Like, man, I wish I could do this. I wish I could animate, but either my PC is old or I don't know how to do it. And after looking at some tutorials and like getting some motivation, I decided to do my own. This has been a long time requested for a year and a half. Because I'm like, people want to know how I do my thing. So, without further ado, let's start. What you want to do is download this first in the store. Yes, Social Maker is free and your workshop. Now, what you do here is that any models you find works of like anime, like for example, anime. You can find many anime models. If you want FNAF, FNAF, oh, Bendy, it's all in here. It's all in the workshop. Now, in here is your new session thing. This is where your files are going to be saved. If you start animation for anything and you save it in case it crashes, if you have an old PC or if you have a new one and you push too much, you save it just in case it crashes in here. Now this right here is where how much the animation is smooth or laggy. Like you go for 48, 30, 24, 60, 72, 48. Any up here is how you do your thing. And also the file names, aka where your sessions go in the files. Now we're gonna go in, now we're gonna go to the animation thing, so we'll be right there. This is where the fun happens. See, you have here is your clip editor, motion, graph. This is where your this is where all your animation goes. The motion editor it's not that important. Like it rarely used, but this clip is where your shots are going. I'm gonna do part 2 to the songs, but everything of YouTube clip, no YouTube converter and Audacity will be linked in below in the description. That will be explained in the future. But this is where this is where the basic is. Like you like any model you want. Like for example, this model. Like if you want, you could do anime, you could do FNAF, you could do anything. Mo- m- Models are basically important to use in the clip editor, no, in the motion editor and graph editor. They all have different riggings. Also, sound. You gotta have sound first, but we'll get into that in in the next tutorial, paper part 2. So hope this is not too fast for you guys. So with models, you gotta find which model you want to use. like 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 you can move them down. You could have rigging. See, and also usually with models, you got to have you gotta have rigging, in which there are special models for special riggings. Like our stars models have he has rigging. He has a rigging download in the workshop for him. And some FNAF models have special rigging in the workshop too. For example, these models have 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 special rigging for extra smoothness. But where the most stuff goes is in the clip editor. Is in the graph editor, in which the most fun for models is in cameras. Now your camera, some models rarely have AO due to AO issues and such like that. That's why some anime models have AO issues or rarely have any AO due to them be looking weird. Now these, it goes in the cameras. Everything goes in the cameras right here. Now let me move them here so that I could so I could show you how to move everything. Certain models have special movements in the cameras. No, for the cameras, in which everything goes in the shots. If you want a shot that is not too long or not too short, I mean, you can have shots that are short, but shots that are going too long, it just gets boring. So I'm gonna do shot right here to show you. Everything goes here in shot one. Now, movement is very important for your models. Now, movement goes important for your models because how fast or slow you want it to be. Like I'm gonna move right here. Yeah. See, movement can always go either way. You can make it fast, you can make it slow, you can make it medium slow, you can make it how much you want. It depends on how you want your movements on any models. certain movements can go either way. It could go like fade jumpy, energetic to like can go jumpy, energetic, or like small, short, no, and like slow paced, slow, like sad. It could go any other way. Now, I hope you understand that because lights are extremely important. Because lights, my lights are okay-ish, but you gotta have good lights. Or you can make them. You can make the lights go any way you go. That's where lights come in. Now, my lights are like, I'll show you. Oh, also, I also forgot your progressive refinement settings. This is where how good you want your lightings, your cameras, anything. Hell, even your raw metric of how good you want your animations to be. But if you have a weaker PC, I recommend 64 or 128. 64 depth of view is the 32 motion blur or 64 motion blur. But if you have a stronger PC, no, like 256 or 512 to 64 motion blur, 128, any how you like it to be. For me, it's 256. Lighting can also depend on like how, how good your lighting can be. See, that's how lighting goes. It could go any other way. It could go colorful to like just there. That's how lighting is. And yes, I'll go in more depth of lighting in the next one to show how much stuff you could do with lighting. This is basically a test of how lighting is, but also your camera. You can also I get more depth with cameras, everything. You can, and also I forgot to mention always, and I mean always download models that are big. I mean, if you want them, and always say yes to all. Because if you don't, then the materials will be broken. Like for example, everything from from Google Drives to anything will always, like for example, you could do anything with models. You could do FNAF, anime, anything. As long as you put the models in the right section. I can explain sound and everything in a couple of in the next tutorial to explain more of sound. See, everything in the motion editor can all will always help you in like moving models, but in the freely, because in the most in, in the clip editor it rarely works. Like it doesn't work at all. See, this is what it does. Everything with cameras, kind of half lightings, and also downloading models from the workshop. You could download them from any type, and you gotta press yes to all because the materials will intertwine with each other with certain models, and you always move every everything always works with motion editors. They always help you with with moving models freely, just trying to see which lighting's good, which camera placement to put, which movement you think would be best if you put it in the graph. If you always want to download to see which part you want to do for your animation, like select shots, this and also this is where you gotta wait, hold on. This is your export movie. This will tell you which part of the animation you want to do for resolution, like which to export, the format, the durations, like like this is important. Also your resolution. For any PCs, you could do 720, 1080, 2160. Also your obviously lay off. None of these are important right now. Your shutter speed. You always do your shutter speed low, like 12, because then it will make your thing wonky and such. And also your posters. Your posters are always important to figure out, hey, maybe I like this lighting. Maybe maybe I like doing posters. Posters are important to see which animation fits your vid. Anything. This helps you so much of how big your image size is. Anything else. Anything helps you. Like if you want to save your animation, if you have a weaker PC in case it crashes, anything, if your PC is starting to crash, if your social maker starts to crash or is lag too much, save in case you lose progress. But always, if you're done with the animation, make sure you guys select which anything you want, like any resolution, duration, anything. Like any animation you want, anything. This helps you all the time. I'm gonna explain more the music, the overlay, and the movements but this is just a basic to show which models you want, which anything you want. It's always important with songs, with like which you gotta do. It your movies like how much resolution you want your movies to be, how much your posters how we want your posters to be, but also for anything important about social maker, if you want your thing to be 1080p or higher, you could do this advanced. You could do the select launch thing, like SFM resolution 2060 by whatever by this, or 1080p or 720. This is where your this is where your general will be. This is where your resolution will go. If you want higher resolution, next time you log on, this is where you go. Yeah, this helps you. This tutorial will help you of anything basic of downloading models, putting lights putting lights in a specific place, the cameras, and like test movements, like to see which movements are better for you. So yeah, I'm gonna export this, and it doesn't usually take long for movies to happen. Like if you have a weaker PC, yeah, you could do it shorter. But if you have a stronger PC, it can be quicker, but it would take a long for your animation to export because you gotta do the lights, the rendering things, the models, the camera movements. Like if your camera movements are slow, it could take a while. But if your camera movements are fast, it would take kind of long, but it'll be quicker. Now now depending on how long your animation is and how long the short is, it depends on the and there you have it. It depends on how long the hour is. Wait, hold on. It depends on how long your shot is. Animation takes time. It takes a while too. So I hope this tutorial will help you with the basics on models, movements, and like where to download them and anything else. Part two will explain more the cameras and the lighting. So we'll know which lighting is better. So I hope you enjoyed this kind of scoff one, even though this has been a long time coming and it's kind of all over the place. But I hope that this at least gives you the idea of how to use Source Maker and like the basic idea of it. Audacity and YouTube Converter will be in the description below. That will be in future tutorials once we get there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys for the next tutorial. Bye.